Ever run a level 1 encounter and feel like you've got only 2 settings? Setting 1, the party steamrolls it and you wonder why you bothered. And setting 2, somebody takes one bad hit and suddenly you're staring at a character sheet funeral. The swing usually isn't because you picked the wrong monster. Okay? It's because the encounter has no situation. Just here are the enemies in a room, and now we will pretend this is the only way the scene can go. Low level play can't survive that. Not in BX, not in most OSR play. Trading hits is how you accidentally turn tents into white. So I'm going to give you the fix. A 3x5 or look at that. These are 4x6s. I've got different colors. I'll talk about that in another video. That builds encounters as scenes with choices. Okay, you can talk, hide, take a deal, make a deal, retreat, ambush, grab the thing, and run. That kind of a play. So the classic failure mode looks vaguely like this. You prep an encounter like it's supposed to be a fair fight. And even if you don't use the word balanced, the prep ends up being, well, who shows up for the session, right? How many, and where are the opponents standing? And that's it. So the players do what makes sense. They solve it with violence because nothing else is on the table. And at low levels, violence is often the worst option, even when it wins. Good low-level encounters aren't fair. They're clear. Danger is visible and exits exist. This is the whole tool, right? What I'm going to give you is the whole tool. 5 lines. There's some other tables, but it's basically 5 lines. You can fill it during prep or 5 minutes before the session starts. Line 1. Who and what? As in, what are they doing right now? Not what are they? That's less consequential. What are they doing? Doing creates openings. Standing there creates a slugfest. Where? One feature that matters. 1, not 10, not a dozen. A choke point, bad footing, smoke, a ledge. Something the table, the players, can actually use and respond to. Pressure, as in, why now? A reason the scene moves even if the party dithers. Something changes, something arrives, something gets worse. Out. And this is the secret sauce, okay? Give the encounter 1 escape route, 1 bargain, 1 leverage point. That leverage point could be cover, a hostage, a fragile object, high ground, anything. If you only do 1 thing from this whole video, put that largely on your index card, write it in bold ink. And of course, the payoff. Rewarding consequence. What do they gain if they engage? What happens if they walk away? Then that's it. And except for the tiny tables I'm going to give you, that allows you to go through this pretty fast. So, low-level encounter card. All right? You break out one of these. I'm using 4x6s. Maybe you want to use 3x5. I find that the extra space never hurts. Line 1, who and what? And you're going to roll a d6 for intent. Line 2, where? Another d6 for the future. 3, pressure. Another 3d6 for, 3d6. That's right, another d6 for, again, pressure. Out. 1 exit, 1 bargain, 1 leverage, payoff, 1 reward, 1 consequence. So you might want to put those extra 3 tables on the back of the card. That's fine. Intent. What are they doing? Now, you may roll and go, that doesn't make any sense, and that's fine. You can find a way that kind of makes sense or make up your own. These are things to help you with your brainstorming, okay? They're helping you flesh stuff out. If you don't like what you roll, it's you. Roll again, pick and choose, think something else up. I haven't covered all the options, that's for sure. But intent, what they're doing, okay? Scouting or lost. Guarding something, hunting or foraging. Transporting loot or supplies. Full hand, right? 5. Arguing. 6. Fleeing. Wounded or panicked. That sets the scene, right? Now, how about the future? That one thing that matters. Okay. Choke point or a narrow approach. High ground or low ground. Bad footing. That could be mud, rubble, ice, a damaged floor. Poor visibility. Smoke, fog, darkness. Hazard. Let's get the hand in the right place there. That could be fire, water, rot, slickstone, moss, whatever. And of course, 6, something fragile, yet probably valuable in that area. So you don't want it to be damaged. You got to fight around it if you're going to fight. And then what's the pressure? As in, why now? Reinforcements are coming soon. Or the light in the dungeon, or the weather is getting worse. Someone gets harmed if delayed. Noise will attract attention. Mistaken identity or wrong assumptions. That's always a good one, right? Rival group. You get to the thing about there. There's 6. The rival group shows up mid-scene. And yes, these are all shown on purpose. Maybe you want a 2d6 table. Maybe you want a d12. Maybe you want a d20. Whatever you can fit on your index card, have at it. But the thing is, it's short on purpose because short gets used. You want something that you are going to use. So let's do a quick example. Parties poking around old ruins outside town, and I need something right now. So I roll 1. First, right? I roll it's 6 for the intent. Fleeing, wounded, or panicked. The feature is 1. It's a choke point. And the pressure is 4. Noise attracts attention. So now I have to fill in the who and the what. So I go, all right, it's a small band of goblins. It could be bandits, cultists, whatever fits your region. And they're coming, tearing down the corridor. One is limping. One's got blood on their sleeve. One's holding a sack that clinks. They're not here to fight the party. They're trying to get away. Where? Well, a choke point. In this case, I don't know, a collapsed hallway where only 1 or 2 can pass their time. Great place to hold someone off or get stuck if you overcommit. What's the pressure? Noise attracts attention. The more chaos the party makes, the more likely something deeper in the ruins starts paying attention. So suddenly, kick the door and charge has a cost. What are the outs? There's an exit, a side crack in the wall that small bodies can squeeze through. The goblins can use it. A lightly armored PC might. Plate mail? Probably not. A bargain. Let us pass and you can have what's in the sack. Or help us and we'll tell you what's down there. Leverage. The sack itself. If it drops, it spills. If it spills, it makes noise. If it makes noise, the whole situation could tilt. What's the payoff? Well, there's a reward, the loot in the sack, plus a mat scrap, a key, a marked door, something that points at the next problem. And what's the consequence if ignored? The goblins escape and come back later with friends. Or the noise that they made puts a bigger threat onto the same nearby track as the party. So now this plays like a scene. Players can step aside and stay quiet, chase and withdrawing attention. They can cut a deal. Come on, what's better than cutting a deal? Grab the sack and run, hide and see where they go. None of that requires you, the GM, to balance anything. It just requires you to give the encounter handles. So, what would I do? I would telegraph it hard. Breathless voices, frantic glances over the shoulders, the wet scrape of something deeper in the ruin reacting to noise, and then I'd stop talking. Because once the table understands loud noise equals trouble, they start making smart, interesting choices without you pushing them. So what about some questions that I'm sure are going to pop up? Some edge cases, there's always some. What if the party attacks anyway? Fine. Let them. But your outs still matter, because enemies will try to escape. Someone tries to bargain when cornered. The environment becomes the real danger, not just the hit point man. That keeps it from turning into stand here until someone falls over. My players are combat forward. They just fight, and then make the bargain and leverage tempting. Combat groups love advantage and treasure. So put advantage and treasure inside the situation. A shortcut, a bribe, a stolen key, a hostage, a noisy sack, a fragile idol, a lantern that might go out. Now even a fight has decisions baked into it. Yeah, but how do I keep it fair without balance? And that's a 5e question if there ever was one. You don't balance, okay? Let me clear that up right now. You don't balance. You do signal. If something is above their pay grade, you make that obvious through the fiction. Sounds, tracks, damage, sting, terrified survivors, whatever fits your world. And you keep exits available so retreat is an option the table remembers exists. Well, won't this get, samey? It gets samey when every encounter is that they want to kill you in a flat space with no pressure. Rolling intent and a feature and a pressure forces variety. You actually fill the table. So, before we close out, what's that tool? And I'll include this in as a pinned comment. Makes it easiest, right? Who and what? Where? Pressure, out, payoff. And if there's one takeaway I want you to steal tonight, if you give an encounter one exit, one bargain, and one leverage point, you almost never get stuck in a boring slugfest. I'm not saying there's not going to be a fight. That's fine. But it won't be boring. It won't be a slugfest. Subscribe because I'm doing the same index card tool for mid-level, 4 to 7, and high-level, 8 to 14 over the next week or so. Where the problem flips from don't die to don't let the fight turn into a 40-minute grind. And if you're a member, you should be, you're supporting me when I do these videos, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, and God bless.